Palestinian Legislative Council, president of the Palestinian Council on Foreign Relations, and professor of political science at Birzeit University, was at the Bilderberger meetings in Rothach, Egern, in Upper Bavaria last May. And I'll reiterate once again that Mr. Eldrup was there. A man whose wife is intimately connected with Jyllands-Posten, the Jutland Post, the very Danish newspaper that published the deadly Danish cartoons. The group's main aim is to make decisions that strengthens the United States and Britain's formula for a new world order, and to support it. And they're shoving it down our throats under the guise of global war on terrorism. The Long War is what they call it now. The global war on terrorism, the Long War. Conjures up images of those words in 1984 by Mr. Orwell. War is peace. Because this guise of the war, global war on terrorism, the Long War, is to establish democracy, peace, and freedom in the world. And George W., when he makes those speeches and says he's bringing liberty and democracy to those countries that they invade, is laughable. And you can see it in his eyes. He's lying through his teeth, and he knows you know it, but he thinks you can't stop him. Three quotes from the Lamb talk, the peace talk of these Illuminati leaders. Make clear their intentions. This is a Guess Who Said It? Sort of like our quote of the day on AM640Toronto.com, where you can guess. It's our new idea on our website. Come up with who said the quote. Come up with this one. Out of these troubled times, and he was referring to the Iraqi-Kuwait conflict, our fifth objective, a new world order can emerge, a new era. We're now in sight of a United Nations that performs as envisioned by its founders. Who said it? Well, it was George Herbert Walker Bush in his Iraqi speech, September 11th, 1990, addressing the UN. Here's another one. Our mission is clear: to rid the world of evil. George W. Here's another one. Out of the shadow of this evil, meaning 9/11, should emerge lasting good. This is a moment to seize. Let us reorder this world around us. Who said it? Well, none other than British Prime Minister Tony Blair, October 2, 2001 on the BBC. Was this whole action on sensitive topics? Do you really believe it's come down to it's our right? Or is it a wedge being driven in by the Illuminati to split us? Another attack on all the citizens of the world, ratcheting up even further the ominous times that we live in. Spaceman back in a minute. It's AM 640 Toronto Radio. You're listening to A View from Space.
Ancient mystery religions, numerology, the Holy Grail decoded, and he goes deeper than a black hole in today's headlines. This is A View from Space with the Spaceman. AM 640, Toronto Radio.
Spaceman on AM 640 Toronto Radio. Emails space at 640toronto.com or spaceman at 640toronto.com. This one's from Robert M. Spaceman, a few weeks ago I found some interesting material about the Carlyle Group, and it seems that Daniel Pipes is also involved. How blind can the Americans be to allow such criminals to carry on? Are they really that brainwashed? Yeah. They're too busy. They take that spoon-fed stuff. Like Dave from Manitoulin writes, Space, it's Dave from my island cabinet near Manitoulin. People can't accept anything except the regurgitated pablum that they get every day from our so-called media. I commend you on your research, and I don't always agree with you, but I always agree with your right to express your opinions. As far as these cartoons are concerned, I think the riots are so blatantly orchestrated by the elite to sow mistrust amongst the different religions. War is big business. Later, Dave. Not only is war big business, Dave, but chaos creates the New World Order. It's where we're headed. And you can't help but go. Another one from EZ. Space, I get urges to write at times. Forgive my lack of systemic coherency, if you will. This doesn't specifically relate to this night, but does to your theme. My writing about the powerful families goes back a long time, and your info and dissertations are obviously connected to what I am now writing. The writings are merely for my footprints in the sand that I walk. I thank you for your courage and leadership, EZ. It's got a great piece of literature that unfortunately I have not time to share with you. But I will give you the title. Third Degree Burns Through Whose Perforation. And who is the World Health Organization? Sure. Go ahead, Laurie. You're on AM 640 Toronto Radio.
Hi, Spaceman. How are you?
Fine.
Good. I just wanted to say I'm from Danish background. I have a lot of family in Zealand Island, Copenhagen, and I just think that your comment on the Germans and within Denmark.
Wait a minute. I didn't call you all Cain's seed.
Well, we had.
But listen. When Cain's family, the tribe of Dan, reached Denmark, the mark of Dan, there were already people there. You could be belonging to that bloodline.
I know.
So I am not for 1 second saying that every single Danish person is connected with the blood of Cain and the lost tribe of Dan.
Well, I hope
but
not.
They
I hope
were
not, because
through
I
there.
believe in a lot of things that you say, because I saw a lot of things that maybe I haven't seen, or a lot of people shouldn't see. But I also agree that that cartoon was a freedom of expression, and completely only that.
Okay, then what about Mr. Eldrup going to the Bilderberg meetings, whose company owns the Jutland Post?
I think maybe.
And I haven't got to Denmark yet and the incredible hotbed of hatred that's going on with Islam. Do you know that the people in Denmark right now believe that Islam very, very soon will outnumber the secular people there and will want to push their views onto everyone else, and they're scared out of their mind?
Who are the
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Well, they are. It is, like I told you, I have mentioned a couple of times already on AM 640 Toronto Radio, that is the hottest hotbed right now of Islamic hatred.
Wow.
I will get to that. And I will educate you on your own homeland.
Yeah, well,
Thank
good
you,
luck.
Lori, for your call.
Thanks.
Spaceman, go ahead, Robert.
Oh, hi, Space. Another great show, and I'm glad you're on a little bit earlier.
Hey, this is
I feel cheated when the hockey's on. It just irks me that I can't be hearing your words.
Okay, but let's just continue with the topic and no wasting valuable seconds. Go ahead.
Okay, I've been following now what you've been covering for a few years, and there's so much information out there to back it up. I had a question about this Bilderberg thing.
Sure.
When Prince Charles brought his new wife over, was that about the same time that Bilderberg meeting was going on?
Oh gosh, see, now I'd have to research that because I don't have his travel itinerary, in my head at the moment. So I'd have to look that up. But I am writing that and jotting that down right now, and I'm going to check just to see. But it doesn't necessarily have to be, because you see, the elite are not doing the work. They send the people that I have named in the Bilderberg list to do their bidding. So they don't even have to be involved. They are merely representing. See, they're even in such bondage, in such chains, because their blood chains them to their position. Because there are those that are around them that are saying, "You are who we've been waiting for. You are the purest of the bloodline of Cain, and you are the ones that we're doing all of this for." So you imagine the pressure. And you can imagine what Prince William must be going through, because he is involved whether he likes it or not. He is the latest in that bloodline.
Sure. Well, I certainly agree with what you just said about George Bush there, too. I mean, this man is just either... I mean, it's either evil in him or he's just a puppet, going along thinking that he's doing right. I just can't explain.
Well, you know how Dingwall in Canada here got all puffed up about his entitlements.
Yes.
Well, that's exactly the same frame of mind as George W. He knows that he was born to be president, not elected. He was born. He feels that is his right, and he feels that is his position. He is merely doing the family's bidding, like any other good son would. So in his heart, he even feels he doesn't feel like he's doing something satanic. He feels that he's doing something to help the family, and they've given him this coveted position.
Well, I have a friend from the States that joined the Air Force and was pulled out of the Air Force, stuck in an Army Reserve, and sent over to Iraq for a 9-month tour. Since he got back, he's not the same fellow, and I just shudder to think what
he's back. Is he going to return?
I've lost touch with him.
Because they recycle these guys, Well,
they pulled him out of the Air Force.
Some of them do 2 and 3 tours.
Yeah.
Because they only got so many, and they're certainly not getting new enlistment.
That's for sure. Well, you might see the drafts coming in or something. But
I've already had it on the show, buddy. You bet.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why they're closing our border and blaming it on guns coming up here. Spaceman, AM 640 Toronto Radio. A view from space, with more still to come.
when you need opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of AM 640 Toronto Radio. Reaching the spaceman is easy. Talking can be the tough part. Call 416-870-6400 or hit star